In this movie, I'll explain how to gauge the best combination of amount and radius values. And that's going to depend largely on the destination of your image. So the question becomes, are you outputting this image for the screen? That is, for example, you're preparing an image to display on the web. Or are you creating an image that you want to print? If you're going to the screen, then you can use the screen as your output device because after all, the image will be displayed on a computer monitor and it's going to look the way it does at the 100% view size. I'm going to leave it zoomed into 200% out here in the image window so that the sharpening effect survives in the video. So for starters here, a radius value of about 1 pixel works pretty darn nicely for screen work. However, you can take it down, especially if you're working in a high noise image like this. And you can see this image has a lot of noise, random variations in the luminance of neighboring pixels that doesn't really add anything to the scene. So I'm going to take my radius value down to 0.5 pixels, which is generally about the lowest setting I use. And then you want to adjust the amount value so that you get the degree of sharpening you're looking for. And in my case, I'm going to take the sharpening value down to 200%. And you can see here with that we still have a nice degree of sharpening. So if I click and hold inside the image, it's a little bit softer. If I release, we're seeing it pop. We can see it even better over here in the image window. I'll turn off the preview checkbox and you can see it grows a little softer there. Turn the preview checkbox on and the bug looks more tactile and we can better distinguish some of the detail. Now, if you're going to print, things get a little bit trickier because you can't really use the screen as your reference device. You can to a certain extent, but you're better off working from the numbers. The first thing you want to do is take your ideal radius value that looks good on screen and multiply it times 3. So I would go ahead and take this value up to 1.5 pixels. Now, why in the world would you multiply it times 3? Well, here's where things get technical. Your typical everyday average screen has a resolution between 96 pixels per inch and 110 pixels per inch. That's the general range. So we're talking, about 100 pixels per inch. Your typical image for output has a resolution of, say, 300 pixels per inch. So that's 3 times as much resolution in print, so we need 3 times as much radius, because after all, the radius that we're perceiving, the halos we might see at the 100% view size, are going to get scrunched down to 1/3 of their current size. The next thing you want to do is add about 50% to your ideal amount value. And that's going to take care of the fact that there's a little bit of softening associated with the printing process. So now you can see that we have what I would perceive to be an over-sharpened bug on screen. If I click and hold on the bug, you'll see it looked pretty good before, and now I release and it looks just over the top sharp. However, we're going to get a better perception of what that image is going to look like in print if we zoom out the image here inside the image window. So I'll go ahead and press Control- or Command- a sufficient number of times to get to the 50% view size, which is going to be your best bet. Something like 33% would be more accurate. It'd be more telling of how the image is really going to print in terms of its size. The problem is 50% gives you a better view into your image, especially where gauging edges is concerned. And so I'll turn off the preview checkbox, watch the bug in the image window. I'll turn off the preview checkbox. You can see it's the softer original bug. I'll turn the preview back on, and now we've got a nice tactile bug whose sharpened details are going to survive the printing process. All right, now I'll go ahead and click OK in order to accept that modification. So that's how you go about gauging the best combination of amount and radius values, whether you're sharpening for the screen or for print.